Welcome to Women Thrive podcast. This is where you'll get to hear incredible stories of female entrepreneurs, business owners, women from all walks of life. Myself, Raymond Jan, and my co-host Abigail will be interviewing incredible women, hearing inspiring stories of women from all around the world. I have no doubt that you will find something that will be life-changing for you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and join us for our future episodes.
So, very warm welcome to this episode of the Women Thrive podcast. My name is Abigail Rebecca. I am your host for today, and I am so excited because I'm going to introduce you to one of our Women Thrive speakers, a very special person all the way from the UK, Clare Garner. Clare is a serial entrepreneur, a spiritual success coach, and CEO of Phoenix. She works with entrepreneurs who desire something new, visionaries who crave to create a bigger impact and income, and women who know they are destined for something far greater than they currently have. Hi, Clare. Welcome.
Oh, hi. Thank you for having me.
It's so great to have you here. I love to do these podcasts, especially when we are interviewing our wonderful Women Thrive speakers. And I really love your energy. I love what you do. I can't wait for our audience to hear more and to experience your beautiful energy. So thank you so much for jumping on and doing this with us.
Oh, you're most welcome. I love podcasts. I love talking, right? I'm at home.
So Clare, obviously I've introduced you there. I always feel that I'm not doing you justice. You please share more about the beautiful work that you do in this world.
Oh, no, you absolutely did it justice. You literally said what it is on the tin. It is what I do is I just empower everyone to realize what they're capable of, what they're worthy of, and what they're destined for, right? So it's just about letting us tap into that innate power that we have within us, unleashing it into the world unapologetically so that we can all shine our lights as brightly as possible without apology. That's my reason, that's my purpose, that's my whole essence of being, just to make sure that every woman that I touch steps into her power.
Who are your clients? Like who specifically do you work with? So like what do they want to create in this world?
So entrepreneurs, women, always women. And basically, generally, they are either, so there's kind of two parts as to who I work with. They're either working in a day job at the moment and they know that they are meant for more. They know that they're meant to be an entrepreneur. They know that they're meant to create a big impact in the world, but they're not sure where to start. They're not sure how to go about it. They're not sure how to create this dream into their reality. So we kind of go through that whole process of going from job to entrepreneur. And then I work with entrepreneurs who are already in their own world. They're already doing the things, they're already living the life of being their own boss, right? But they're in the grind, they're in the hustle, they're in the burnout, they're not hitting the six figures. And again, they have big dreams, they have big visions, they know that they're meant for more, but they can't seem to ever materialize it. And so we work with finding their purpose, making sure that they're in alignment, and helping them become the person that they need to become in order to live the life that they want to live.
I really love your story, actually, your background, because you've built very successful businesses, haven't you? Like, do you want to share with us, like, what you've created, what you've achieved in your life as a result of applying these teachings and methodologies to your life?
Yeah, of course. And it wasn't always like this. So for the first 6 years of being an entrepreneur, I was in that grind, burnout, hustle culture. I was on the outside very successful, having the blue chip clients, having the high-end client meetings, winning awards for my accolades. But on the inside, it was very different. I was in an abusive relationship. I was consumed by fear. I didn't know who I was, a lot of imposter syndrome. And I didn't know how I would ever materialize these big dreams, these big desires that I had, because that wasn't who I saw in the mirror. I was a shell of who I knew I was destined to be. And it was only when I realized that that fear never goes away. You can't wait around for fear to leave because it doesn't leave. You have to step into it. You have to embrace it. You have to embody it. And that's when you transmute it into fuel to fire you up and to propel you into your future. And so when I did that, I finally left that relationship. I finally found myself. I finally embraced who I was meant to be. That's when things changed. And that's when my corporate biz grew to multiple six figures. I started a biz of purpose. So in alignment with my new spirituality that I had found. And that was in selling crystals, which then grew to multiple six figures within the first 18 months. I've then created other businesses. So I had a membership for the crystals, which had a launch of 50 founding members. I started Phoenix this year, which is my calling and my passion, and really is part of my journey of my own growth, right? We're all growing always. We're all expanding. And for me, my journey now is about becoming who I know I'm destined to be, becoming the speaker, becoming the empowerment, becoming the advocate for women out there. So my journey is one of being very successful in kind of every sector really that I've been in, but now it's about stepping into my higher purpose and to share that with others so that they can do the same.
There's so much to unpack there.
I never know where to start.
I know, right? There's just so many questions that I want to ask, but I'd really love to go back to your story, actually, if we may, if you're happy to do that. So you were in a very unhappy relationship for 15 years. How was that impacting your life? Where were you at that time? What was that place like?
This is really important, I think, for people to understand, because whether you're in a relationship like that or not is really irrelevant, because it's how it made me feel, right? And I lived in fear of physical and mental abuse every day, but that's kind of by the by, because you can live in fear from lots of different reasons. Fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of failure, massive one for me, fear of failure. But what happened for me is I led a double life for my first 6 years of being an entrepreneur. So like I said, on the outside, everyone thought my life was great. I had it all together. I was living the dream from the business perspective, right? But in my home life, I didn't know who I was. I couldn't speak my truth. I couldn't be who I wanted to be. In fact, I didn't really know who I even was anymore. But what I did know was that I had massive dreams. I had massive aspirations. I knew that I was a visionary. And I would have this internal battle of, okay, I know I'm meant for more, but how am I ever going to live that life? How am I ever going to be that kind of person when that's not who I see in the mirror? I'm not the kind of person that is able to manifest that into their reality. So where do I go from here? How am I ever going to transform this? And that was my story for 15 years. Obviously, I was in a relationship for 15 years until I was finally able to make the break for good and change my life, change the trajectory.
So what I'm hearing from you is that you just didn't believe it. You might have had these dreams, but you just didn't believe that it would ever happen to you.
I couldn't see a way. It's really hard to explain because you kind of believe it, but you kind of don't. It's like you kind of know you're meant for more, but you can't see how it's possible from where you are.
Yeah, this is really interesting, actually, what you're saying, because it took me a long time, actually, to really get my head around this. And I'm sure that so many people can actually relate to this. So, for example, if you want to manifest something, or you're following law of attraction, or whatever you want to call it, right? If you want to bring something into fruition, there's so much noise out there around these are the steps that you need to do. You need to visualize, you need to imagine that it's happening, and then but actually the really important part about this is that you need to believe it, because it's all very well creating vision boards and like going and sharing it with people and visualizing it every single day. But actually, you need to have absolute faith that is going to happen to you. How did you get from that point of, this is the life that I want to create for myself, but do I really believe it? No. To actually stepping into that, like, what does it take to step into that, Claire?
You have to believe it to achieve it, right? I love I love that little saying. It's so for me, it was very much a spiritual awakening journey. And it was very much about understanding who I was on a soul level and what I was here to do. So why am I here? The big question, like, why am I here? Like, what is my purpose in this world? Like, I know I can't be here to suffer. I can't be here to struggle. I can't be here to just stay in the shadows. There must be something more. And I'm a firm believer of, if you have a dream, it's because it is meant for you to materialize. It is meant for you to realize, because you're the only one that it makes sense to. No one else will understand your dream because it belongs to you. And I come to a fork in the road where I either stayed on the course that I was on, or I chose to believe something different. And I chose to follow my dreams. And I chose to believe, actually, if they can do it, why can't I? If I look up to all these other people who are living the life that I desire, why can't I do it? They're no different to me. They're just further on the journey. They've just made some different decisions in their life. They're just on a different part of the ride. And the true key of it is, you have to become it for it to come. You have to be the person now in your life today that is able to live the future that you desire. Because that is the only way you bridge the gap. It's the only way you merge the timelines. It's the only way that you become that person, by integrating it into your life right now.
So I'm getting from you around this is that purpose is coming through really loud and clear. So you need to really tap into that purpose, what I'm meant to be in this world, and also like move forward in a purposeful way. So
100%.
to have that bigger vision as you're moving forward, looking to others for inspiration.
Yeah.
So choosing to, if you're going to compare yourself to someone, actually feeling inspired by that. But this, like what you've just said about, you have to be that person. So we might have women that are listening to this or watching this that are like, well, it's all very well for you to say this, Claire, that you have to be the person. But, you know, I'm currently in a situation where I've got no money, I've got no, I'm not in the environment that actually feeds that. So it's all very well to say that, but how am I going to be that person? How am I going to be that if at the moment I do not have the means to be that? So what would you say to someone that's saying those words now?
So the first thing I would say is, wealth is not about money. It's about embodiment. So you are wealth. You don't have wealth, you are wealth. And you don't need money to feel wealthy. And the truth is that you can't materialize monetary wealth until you are wealth. And that is an embodiment practice. And that is about seeing abundance where it exists in your life right now. And yes, it might not be in the money. And I've been there. Like, my ex was a compulsive gambler. So I had the worst money story you can ever imagine, right? My relationship with money was not good at all. It was the complete opposite. So there's a lot to unpack in our own money stories. But you have to get to a point where you rewrite your relationship with money and you decide that you are a wealthy person. And you do that by seeing things in a different lens, by looking for where abundance is, not where scarcity is. For instance, I'm looking around my room now. One of my businesses is in crystals, right, which my daughter runs for us. There's an abundance of crystals in this room. Beautiful energy, gorgeous to look at. It's abundance. My garden, there's actually a rose bush, which probably should be dead now, but there's an abundance of roses right in front of me. I can hear birds. There's an abundance of beautiful bird song in my ears. So there's always abundance. And when you focus on abundance, abundance will come. When you focus on lack, lack is what you will attract. So it's about placing your focus to what you want more of.
So you are then putting yourself in this state of feeling that regardless of what is going on around you in the situation that you're in, if you choose to look for the abundance as opposed to the scarcity and the lack, then you'll attract more of that in.
100%. Because what you are is what you attract, not what you want. You have to be it.
So if that's the case, then really, regardless of where you are, you can start to create this from the inside and then it start to manifest on the outside.
Not even you can, you have to. You have to create it on the inside first, because that's when you attract it. And if you don't create it on the inside first, you might attract it, but it will go as quickly as it came because you won't be able to hold it because you're not matching its frequency. So it's so important to work inwards, outwards, right? To focus on who you are before you can attract it in your material world, in your 3D reality around you. And the great thing is as well, is that it doesn't even matter what is going on around you then, because you're so empowered in who you are as a person. Like, I know I'm a wealthy person. Doesn't matter what my bank account shows to me. It could be nil, it could be $1 million, it could be anywhere in between. Doesn't matter, because it doesn't affect me knowing that I am a wealthy person and that I attract wealth into my life continuously because I match its frequency. Because I know I'm a good person. I know I do good things with wealth that I have. And I know that I'm here to live a life that I desire. And we're all worthy of that.
I love that. I love what you're saying about, hey, I can just look in the room and go, look, there's an abundance of crystals. There's the roses outside. Like, I live in abundance. I'm cared for. It's all here for me. Just that inner shift.
Mm-hmm.
What would you suggest to our audience to maybe incorporate into a daily habit or something like that to really hold the vibration of that, to be able to practice that every day? What has really helped you? What do you help your clients with?
I think there's two things that were game changers for me. And if you're going to start anywhere, start with these two things, because they will create the ripple effect, because you'll love it so much. Your energy will change so much that you'll just want more. So if you don't do it already, gratitude journaling is the number one place to start. And I know it sounds so easy. Everyone's like, I've heard this a million times. You've heard it because it's true. If you haven't done it yet and you've heard it a million times, now is the time for it to land. Now is the time to hear it differently. Realize that this message is being given to you over and over again because you haven't yet taken the advice. Do gratitude journaling every day. Personally, I do mine before bed because it means that when I fall asleep, I have this positive energy that I've fallen asleep with. And we know from science that the energy we fall asleep with is what we wake up with. So when I wake up, I'm still in that high vibration. So for me, that's how I do it. Some people do it in the morning, whatever works for you. There's no right or wrong. But it is a game changer. It really, really is, because gratitude is one of the highest frequencies that we can be in. And when we're in our highest frequency, we attract that back to us. And then the other thing, this is a little bit more woo-woo, if you like, but future journaling. Again, this changed my life, people. So journal. I have a free course for this as well. So if anyone wants help and guidance, we can put it in the notes, I'm sure. But journal as your future self. Be that person right now, because what it does is it tells the universe that you are ready. It tells the universe that you are matching that energy, that you are matching that frequency, that you are ready for that timeline, and that every day you are in that timeline. Because as you're journaling, you are merging those timelines. You're in the quantum field. You are literally living as the future version of yourself. And I can't tell you how powerful this is to do. Whether you believe in spiritual stuff or not, I defy anyone to do this and not feel the power within it, not have the transformation that it provides to you, because it is just incredible, just absolutely incredible to do.
I love this. I'm writing notes. So gratitude. Yeah, absolutely. I love the fact actually that you're talking about gratitude also potentially as an evening practice as opposed to a morning practice. And you know why I think that's so powerful, Claire? I always think like, really, do we actually know what's going on when we sleep? Seriously, do we know what's going on? Because I think it's such a magical time. I always feel like if I can be, my partner and I always turn to one another before we go to sleep and say, what are you most grateful for about today? Because if I can sleep being in that state of gratitude, I always imagine that my conscious brain is then going to sleep and it goes off while I'm asleep. It goes off and it meets its lover, which is my unconscious brain, and the lovers meet and they whisper to one another. So my conscious brain is whispering to my unconscious brain. He's whispering to the lover, actually, this is what she really desires because she's so grateful for it. And then the unconscious part goes, oh, okay, because it's running the show.
Love that.
and then I wake up and the unconscious brain is running this show. So I just love what you're saying about the evening gratitude.
It's so, I mean, I'll try not to go on a tangent, but it's so powerful that, do you remember the days, right, before you start doing all this kind of practice and you wake up and you're like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed. And, you know, it's like that groggy feeling. And I don't say this to kind of put myself on a pillar, but I wake up so happy, like so positive, so energized. Like, you know, that transition when I think is it beta brainwaves when you're just going from sleep and you're just awakening? So you're just kind of in that lucid, like, okay, I know I'm kind of waking up. I'm not awake yet. I literally have affirmations going around in my head at that time because I've trained my subconscious so much. That is now my new normal. That is now my baseline. And that means that in those times that we do shut off and we're running on autopilot, which, like you said, is 95% of the time, it's now programmed to go to where I actually want to get to do what I want to do, to think what I want to think, not just what it's kind of picked up along the way.
How did you program yourself to wake up with affirmations?
Well, I didn't. But basically, it's repetition. You do it unknowingly. It's like you have to go into the computer system and you have to hack the program. And the only way that you can do that is by repetition, because that's how our subconscious learns. It learns from repetition and it picks up from repetition. So whatever you plant, if you keep doing it, it will grow. And that's why most of us aren't even aware that we're planting seeds. But when you become aware, when you start doing identity work, when you start doing self-development work and you start knowing where you actually want to get to, you're not just winging your life. You're not just doing what you thought you should do. You're not just kind of doing everything on a hope and a prayer. You've actually got a clear vision, a clear goal, a clear North Star. You know where you are now, where you want to get to. And that gap in between is just the bridge, right? That's just what you need to walk across. It's what you need to merge, what you need to break down. And the repetition is how you do that. And every time you repeat something new, you create a new habit. And every time you create a new habit, you build a new paradigm. And you notice every time you build a new paradigm, you create a new identity. And that's when you become who you want to be. That's when you will live the life that you truly want to live.
I love that. I love that, Claire. And of course, you were talking about the future journaling. That's obviously the same thing, right? You're just building habits. You're doing it if you do it with daily. Are you recommending like daily journaling?
I mean, daily is a lot. When I started, I was I'm intense, so I'm all in. I'm just like, I'm going all in here. Like there's no, I'm not messing around anymore. I'm all in. So for me, I did do it every day until it was a baseline, until I felt like I can now do this without journaling. I can do it in my own mind without having to kind of think about it too much. But I would say, even if you do it once a week, if you do it once a week and you really do it, you don't just kind of half-ass it or do it on your phone. You really do it properly, you will 100% guarantee you will feel different. You will feel different within a month. Absolutely. You'll feel different in a month. You will feel like you know where you're going. You will feel like you know the gap that you need to bridge. You will feel like it is inevitable. It's not just possible, it's inevitable because you've seen it, you've lived it, you've experienced it, you've felt it. How can it not be possible? All you need to do is become it.
There's a challenge.
Yeah.
Do that consistence. And we'd love to know, actually, because who knows, like this podcast, you could be listening to this podcast in the future, 5 years in the future, even if you are, we want to know what's showing up for you. You know what I love, Claire, about you? I love your energy, of course, and your way of being, but I love the fact that you make it so much fun. Like whenever I watch you, if ever I'm on a call with you or I look at your TikToks or your social media posts, you're having so much fun around it. So it's like this joyful, like lightness that you bring to creating this abundance. And it's like you say, it's not just wealth isn't just about money. It's this wealth of opportunities. You know what I love to do? This is what I love to do. I love to create like little scenarios for myself throughout my life. So say, for example, if I'm going on holiday somewhere, like or vacation somewhere, I like to book viewings with estate agents at fabulous villas and like go and like, I'm the lady that's looking around the villa. I'm like, yeah, I want to buy this villa, or I might want to buy this villa. I'm going to look around, or I'll go and like go to places. And even when I couldn't afford to eat at a fancy restaurant, I'd just go and have a drink at the bar.
Yeah.
But still have that experience at playing around and having fun with it. Like when we were little girls, I don't know if you did this. I did. I used to go into fancy dress box and play and put on different clothes and pretend to be people. You can still do that, right? As an adult.
It's, oh my God. Yeah. I mean, it's just me. I mean, I'm a massive kid, right? I'm a massive kid and I don't have any shame in that. And I used to feel like I had to hide that. I used to feel like, especially when I just had my corporate biz, right? It was like, well, I'm not going to be taken seriously with blue chip clients if I'm showing up as my true self, because my true self is fun. I'm just me. I'm just flowy. I don't overthink things. Sometimes I miss my words. Sometimes I swear. But now I refuse to dim my light. I refuse to hide parts of myself because it might make others uncomfortable. And what I do instead is I turn that up a notch and I blind the hell out of them. And I say, look, this is what you should be doing too. This is how we raise each other up. This is how we empower each other to be our best selves. This is ultimately how we raise the vibration of the planet, right? By all playing out at our best, biggest, boldest selves, because you are uniquely you and you will attract your tribe. You're not going to be for everyone. I'm certainly not for everyone, but I wouldn't want to be. I just want to be for my people, just like whoever's listening, you are for your people. And if they don't like it, it doesn't matter because they're not your people.
Beautifully put. And a great way to end, actually. I think that's a real clear message. What would you say, actually, like as a parting gift? What would be the one message or the one piece of advice, the one takeaway that you'd really love for our audience to have today?
No, my one message. Okay, I'm picking from multiple going around in my head. My one message is trust that your dreams are yours for a reason. Your destiny is to follow them. In fact, you could say your duty is to follow them. Because if you don't, who will?
Beautiful. Claire, where can people find you? Where do you hang out? Where can people find you on social media, your website, etc.?
I love to hang out on the gram.
You too.
So yeah, I'm normally on there. So at Empowered Phoenix Rise, same username on TikTok. And then my website is phoenix-rise.co.uk.
Claire, can I just say your TikTok is blowing up?
My TikTok is, I have a love-hate relationship with TikTok. I'm more of an Instagram girl, but
you're showing up on there and you're getting the followers. I love it. You're getting the visibility and you are walking your talk.
Yeah. I am a empowerment motivational speaker. That's who I am.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yes, absolutely. Well, you mentioned before that you have did you say that it was like a journaling? What was it you were mentioning?
So yes, a free program, which is basically a walk through guided process for you to quantum leap to meet your future self right now. You don't need anything else around you. You don't need any extra money in the bank. You don't need any extra clients. You don't need any more employees. You just need you. You need an hour of your time, pen and paper, and you can feel, embody, experience that right now and get crystal clear on who it is that you need to become.
Perfect. We'll put the link in the show notes and go and follow Claire on social media because she's so inspirational. If you're inspired by what she's talking about now, you should go and see her videos. Seriously, like life hacks, abundant hacks, and
love.
Yes, exactly. And the one thing that I'm taking away actually from our conversation today is what you said, like you are wealth. You are it. You embody it, you become it, like it's who you become. And that's incredibly powerful and freeing, I think, because we don't need to worry about anything really then, because it's like, well, as long as I am it, right? If that makes sense.
Away, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Claire, thank you so much. Those sunglasses are fabulous. You always look fabulous, girl. You really do. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And I cannot wait for your talk. We're so happy to have you on our Women Thrive stage and for you to share your beautiful energy and your wisdom and your abundance. Let's all embody wealth today and every single day.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much as well for watching or listening. I'd love to know what you're taking away today. We'd love to know. Get in touch. Share with us what's coming up for you. If you have any questions for us here at Women Thrive, if you've got any questions for Claire, we'd love to keep this conversation going. Whatever you're doing today, have an amazing day. Have a wealthy day. Have an abundant day. And get in those journals and start to journal your future self. What is it that you really want to bring into fruition? You can create anything that you want in this life, and we're here to support you with that. Have an amazing day, everyone. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Women Thrive podcast. If you found today's episode empowering and inspiring, be sure to subscribe and follow us. Better yet, leave a review and share it with others. We're committed to bringing you more stories that will empower and inspire you on your own journey. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep pursuing your dreams.